Why does this keep happening to me?
I love Majora's Mask. Look, I just reviewed it and it's dark and deeply personal and I adore it. However, you can't praise Majora's Mask without standing in the shadow of the giant that came before it, the game that I'm pretty sure rewrote 3D adventure design as a whole, the game that still sits at the #1 spot on Metacritic. That giant is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I don't disagree with the placement, and I'm not here to say it doesn't deserve the #1 spot, but when I think about going back to my favorite games, the ones that have shaped me and the ones that have changed my perspective on things, there's always this quiet fear in the back of my mind that they just won't hit the same.
Know your fucking place, trash!
Games that I love like Xenoblade Chronicles, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto 4, Shin Megami Tensei 3, or Chrono Trigger are games I'm scared to go back and see, like, did I think they were just good, or are they good? Spoilers, they're awesome. What if you change over time? You do change over time. That's the whole point, right? Growing up, looking back, and moving forward, which is what Ocarina of Time is all about. So I think this is a game that is the perfect start to my real let's go back and see if they were as good as they were.
Concrete block all this nature.
And look at that, this is the single most, as I say it in every one of my videos, tutorial of all tutorials. But this is my favorite kind of tutorial in video games. There's no stupid pop-up menu or a 5-minute control lecture. It's just a playground. The game basically says, hey, you can move here, you can talk to people, climb things, roll into walls, just see what happens. Now, technically, you're supposed to go see the Great Deku Tree right away, but there's one problem. Mido, this little bastard, is blocking your path and refuses to let you through unless you have a sword and shield. And just to twist the knife, he reminds you that you're not even a real man without a fairy, which is a wild thing to say. I don't even want to unpack that one. Anyway, acquire sword, acquire money, buy a shield, and somewhere in between all of that, you just see a Kokiri absolutely busting it down on a rock. You meet the Great Deku Tree. He asks you for help. There's a parasite inside him and something that's like corrupting him from within. And just like that, your first dungeon begins. And the Deku Tree actually kind of continues exactly what I mentioned earlier. It teaches you how dungeons work without actually feeling like a tutorial, which is always good. Locked doors, vertical space, environmental puzzles. You know, the game doesn't spell it out, but it trusts you to experiment and to fall and mess up and try again. And I love it. Quick tangent, whenever young Link lifts an item over his head like this, sometimes you get this aerial cinematic view. And Link just has this stupid buck-tooth smile. And there's nothing really to point out here, but now whenever you play this game, I want you to know that this is what is below the border of the black screen. Go through the rest of the dungeon, finish it up, and then you fight your first real boss, Queen Goma or Gama, doesn't matter. And here's the thing. She's just aight. Now, look, before you grab your pitchforks, like, hold on, I won't deny it. Her intro is genuinely creepy. The camera, the music, the way she drops down from the ceiling. But I'm just gonna say it right now. Out of every boss in the game, she's one of the only two that I actually don't like. And let's be real, like, the hit big eye until it die boss formula, which Zelda has always been criticized for. I doubt this is the first time someone rolled their eyes at it, and I can promise you it will not be the last. With Goma defeated, you leave the forest, and there's a touching moment with your friend Saria, and she gives you a fairy ocarina, and then you step out into Hyrule Field, this massive, sprawling expanse, open, alive, full of possibility. Before you ask, yes, this is necessary. If you just sprint straight towards Hyrule Castle without jumping sideways or rolling or backflipping, you will not make it to the gate in time before it closes. Okay, we're just gonna do some rapid fire stuff right quick. Make it to Hyrule Castle, smash some pots, collect a paycheck, buy a better shield because the Deku one burns if you just look at it wrong. Head to the castle, immediately realize you are not allowed here. So, trespass. Find some guy who's there sleeping on the ground, get caught. Somehow this leads to meeting a young girl and she gives you an egg. Anyway, wait 24 hours, the egg will hatch, wake the man up using it, he moves so the path can open. Now you have to queue more Metal Gear Solid sections as you sneak past more guards and then get spotted and then reset and then sneak past again. But eventually you make it and you meet Zelda and she tells you that Ganondorf and the prophecy and destiny, and you could just say no, which is hilarious because she just does like this really awkward pause and is like, bro, we can't play the game if you don't want to be the hero. And just like that, she ships you off so that you can go to a place called Death Mountain.
Hey, sir!
Go into Dodongo's cavern and good lord, this place is creepy. There's barely any music. It's mostly just like ambient noise and lava bubbling and this distant, horrifying scream of Dodongos echoing through the stone corridors. It's also here where you fight your first mini-boss and get to hear the mini-boss music, and I think it's good. I really like this. I don't like it as much as Majora's Mask, but it definitely still fits. And actual King Dodongo is, not only does he have pretty awesome music, but the actual fight's pretty cool too. I really like it. I don't know, it's actually nice when you use an item from the dungeon and it actually functions against the boss and it's not just, like, I understand it's kind of a gimmick fight, but I don't know, sometimes a gimmick fight can be good. With that, it's time to head to Zora's domain. Quickly run up there, gain access to it, and meet King Zora, and watch the slowest cutscene in video game history. Oh my god!
Disappointed!
Anyway, get a bottle, get a fish, drop it in front of this whale creature thing, and you get swallowed by him. And the dungeon, it's kind of cool. It takes place inside of a living creature with pulsing walls and organic textures and strange and squishy sound design.
It's awful.
You spend this dungeon getting married and fighting giant squids and eventually another giant parasite. And man, what is in Hyrule's water supply that people are getting this many parasites? The whole gimmick of the dungeon is that you're carting Princess Ruto around, and it's fine. It's fine. With these 3 dungeons, though, you finally get to leave, and you get to head back to Hyrule to tell Zelda that you've finished your task, and you get the cutscene that played at the beginning of the game where you meet Ganondorf for real for the first time.
That's quite big. Impressive.
And he blasts Link with magic and sends him flying into the nothingness of the universe, and then rides off laughing. And in all of this chaos, Zelda also throws you the Ocarina of Time, and you just get rid of Saria's Ocarina, which I just think is kind of crazy. It just doesn't matter to you anymore.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Anyway, you head to the Temple of Time, and you play the Song of Time with the 3 gems, and the door opens, and there it is, the Master Sword.
Gotcha, bitch!
So you walk up to it and pull the Master Sword out, and immediately are sealed away in the Chamber of Sages for 7 years. And I'm going to be real with you. So many questions are raised in this one moment. Why 7 years? That is a wildly specific number. Not 6, not 10, 7. 2, why are my ears pierced? Who did that while I was unconscious? Was it Raru? And I'm in new clothes. Who changed my clothes? Well, oh my god, this dude's a weirdo. Anyway, look, the adult timeline is what I would say is the real meat and potatoes of Ocarina of Time, and is the most fun part of the game. One of my favorite things that the Gorons say is that if there's ever anything really bad happening at Death Mountain, you'll see because it's acting strangely. And I bet, it's been 7 years, everything will be fine. Besides that, also, they introduce a new character named Sheik, who proceeds to tell you to head all to these temples with this really cool line of, when an evil rules all, an awakening voice from the sacred realm will call those destined to be sages who dwell within the 5 temples. One in a deep forest, one on a high mountain, one under a vast lake, one within the house of the dead, and one inside the goddess of the sand. And now that you have some directions and some ideas on where to go, you are free to explore the world as you see fit. Also, I don't have a better time to talk about this, so let's just do it now. Well, the music in this game is alright. The one thing, music-wise, they didn't slow down on and just hit the fucking gas pedal with the Ocarina songs. Oh, so good. Every single one of these songs hits so hard, and you play them with Sheik. I don't know, I really love them. They're really awesome. Each temple has a song that legit feels like it was meant to correspond with the themes of that temple. I'll quickly play each one in full for nostalgia and another for just how good they are. I also don't have full proof of this. I can only prove one section of it. But from what I've been told, you can do the first 3 dungeons in any order that you would like. Now, I don't have any proof of that, but I know for a fact I always do the Fire Temple first before heading to do the Forest Temple. It's just always how I felt. For some reason, the Forest Temple, like, freaked me out, and I don't seem to be the only one that felt that way. There seems to be a lot of discussion that people didn't like the Forest Temple, or like the little forest maze before with the new monsters they show off. So, first off, having to travel to some of the old locations a second time really gives you time to see how much 7 years can change a place. Kokiri Forest is now teeming with monsters outside, and getting to the forest hedge maze that they have, there used to be like cute Deku scrubs, but they have now been replaced with what I believe these things are called moblins. And again, mentioning my same sentiment about feeling fear, when I was a kid, I hated this section of the game. There's these tight little corridors, and the thumping of their feet is like really jarring. And mind you, now as an adult, the sound that they make when you hit them with the hook shot is just hilarious to me. It's the sound you make when you're drinking something and out of nowhere there's just something chunky in your drink. So the whole gimmick of the Forest Temple is that there's 4 ghost sisters that you have to beat up and like steal their, was it their flames or their souls? Oh my god. And you use that to get to the final boss fight. Besides that, really like the really weird music and the trippy corridors of this temple, this one never really did anything special other than freak me out as a kid. Mind you, the painting Ganondorf fight is kind of cool, if not a little dull, but it does kind of show you what you will eventually have to deal with. Also, this happened to me.
I'm going to die!
The Fire Temple always had really weird music, and I, living in North America, always had the version with the audio ripped out, but hearing the creepy chanting from the other versions has always kind of perplexed me and weirded me out, and I really like it hearing it now. The big gimmick of this temple is that you're wearing a red tunic that gives you fire resistance, and seeing Link dripped out into Supreme Fit wasn't something that I was really ready for, and having him flexing on the Gorons about that he's like about that life. The best part about this temple is the boss. Volvagia is probably the best dragon fight that they have done. It just looks awesome, and this like crazy long flowing mane of hair it has, as well as all of its like terrifying sounds and its sound design is this boss is awesome. 11 out of 10.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
The Water Temple. Do I gotta do this? Do I have to do this part?
Bitch!
Besides the great part that is the Ice Cave, everything about the Water Temple sucks. But the more I played it, I realized it's not the temple that sucks, or the rising or lowering of the water. It's the constant menuing you have to do. You have to take off your iron boots and then put them back on and then take them off and then swap items, and it just eventually wears you down. And now you're trying to rush through the dungeon, and that's where you make a mistake and you miss a key, which is what happened to me. Oh my god. And Morpha just sucks as a boss. So I get it. Look, I hate this temple. Everyone hates this temple. It's like almost a meme to make fun of how bad it is. But the mini boss is awesome. Probably one of the best mini bosses they've ever made. I love Bottom of the Well, Graveyard, Kakariko Village, and the Shadow Temple. Even replaying it now, something about having to sandwich yourself into these small, compact spaces just does something to my brain, and I think it's because Ocarina has been just so relaxed at this point. Everything is like bright colors and fantasy and just super fun, and Shadow Temple is just alright. But the mini dungeon before, Bottom of the Well, oh, it's so terrifying. And technically, this is optional. It has no effect on the main quest other than the item that helps the areas going forward to be a little easier. Both the Shadow Temple and the Bottom of the Well just show you how dangerous the Sheikah are as a people. This whole area is just full of torture devices and talks about messed up human experiments and such. And don't even get me started on the nightmare that is the Dead Hand. It is like the poster child for created monsters in D&D that everyone uses. This thing was the inspiration for the False Hydra. Like, and the Shadow Temple, I'm not gonna deny it is cool with like this floating boat and the little puzzle where if you mess it up, you fall. You fall through into the abyss. Like, that's just so cool and so creepy for like a dungeon based around ninjas and stuff. Look, before I talk about anything about the Spirit Temple, we just have to vibe to the Gerudo theme. So the whole idea of this is kind of like in Majora's Mask. You get captured by the Gerudo thieves and you have to stealth around and free other male workers that are here that have been captured. And I think some of them should be in jail, but that's besides the point. Like, after all of the fighting is done, one of the leaders there gives you access to the area and allows you to move to the actual temple. And the temple, I think, does something really awesome. It actually uses the time-traveling mechanics of going back 7 years and going forward 7 years, as you have to complete the dungeon twice, once as a kid and a second time as an adult to unlock two different sides of the dungeons. I think this is awesome, and it just makes me wonder why only the Spirit and the Shadow Temples decided to use the time travel mechanic at all. This should have been a universal mechanic for all of the other dungeons. This is so awesome. And there's even like tons of cutscenes to really bring the story together in this dungeon, to really give it some like oomph and extra staying power. And if every dungeon was like this, this would be, I mean, it is the best game in the world, but it would be the best game in the world to me, you know what I mean? And the Twin Rova fight is good because at least they have built up the boss so you know what you're going to be dealing with. There's more excitement to it. This is just what I mean. This is a perfect temple. It's a perfect temple, perfect dungeon, perfect boss. 300 out of 10. Finally, after collecting all of the medallions, you return to the Temple of Time and find out that Sheik is actually Zelda. Who would have thought? And Link falls for the same scam again, as Ganon is just waiting near the Temple of Time again to mess with you and grab Zelda. Oh my god. Link would have given out his social security number to a prince in Nigeria if the Temple of Time existed. Oh my... Look, with that, we're supposed to save Zelda, but she'll have to wait because it's side quest time. So I'm positive it's the best sword in the game, but it's this infamous side quest to go get the Goron sword and doing a big trading sequence. First, you can buy the giant's knife from the Medi Goron for 200 rubies, but if you just watch here for a second... It breaks after just a few swings. So it's like, yeah, you probably want the real one. So the actual side quest begins in Kakariko Village, where you get this pocket egg from the Kuko lady, and it hatches into a pocket Kuko, and you use it to wake up Talon. She's impressed that it made someone wake up, and it's happy, and then gives you a blue egg that you're supposed to take to a guy named Kojiro. Take the egg to Kojiro in the Lost Woods, wake up this strange guy, and he hands you this odd mushroom. Now, you have like 3 minutes to run it back to the Kakariko potion shop. Don't, at any point in time, use one of your Ocarina songs to like teleport to the graveyard, because you will immediately fail this quest and have to do it over. Anyway, run back and get the potion so that she can make it into medicine, and then go back to the Lost Woods. Apparently, when you get there, one of these creepy little Kokiri kids tell you that he became a Stalfos.
What?
I'm sorry, he's just dead? He just became a skeleton.
What?
Anyway, give them the medicine and they'll give you a poacher saw, which you take to the carpenter boss in Gerudo Valley, and he trades you the broken Goron sword. Now, you take the Goron sword to Death Mountain, and the big Goron here will fix it, but his eyes are irritated. So he sends you on another delivery quest. You have to take his prescription to the King Zora to get an eyeball frog, and then take the eyeball frog to Lake Hylia to get it turned into eye drops. This is where I found out that you can't teleport because it immediately cancels your quest. Son of a bitch. With that, you have to run with a limited amount of time, which is more if you would have did the little magic bean quest to plant one of those plants that move around. But I barely make it and claim my sword, which takes 3 in-game days. So play the sun song 3 times so that you can speed through the days, and then get the big Goron sword. This massive 2-handed sword that hits way harder than the Master Sword, and most importantly, it doesn't break. Finally, you go see Ganon's castle. They make a rainbow bridge for you, and you have to do 6 more trials before you can face Ganon proper. And it's so wild to run up this giant tower and hearing this music slowly get louder as you learn that this man is playing his own theme. Good lord, the audacity of this version of Ganondorf.
Trash.
And his fight, while being really simple of just kind of playing tennis, with him, the music and the aura is what sells it better than any overly complex boss fight. I think the word is, it's a spectacle. The entirety of it is just a feast for the eyes and ears.
Another one.
With Ganon defeated and spitting up more blood than I've ever seen in an E-rated Nintendo game, Ganon, with the last of his powers, attempts to pull the tower down and kill both of you. And you do like a little escape sequence, and finally, it's over.
Fucking Virgo.
I cannot state how amazing Ganon's final fight is. How his face is obscured by shadow and you can only see the pig demon when the lightning crashes down and illuminates him for a brief moment. And while the fight is again relatively easy, it's once again the spectacle of fighting such a big, scary demon. So, yeah, I don't really know how much I've got to say afterwards. I get it. I see why it is the #1 game on Metacritic. It is a beloved game that came around when everyone of that time was getting used to 3D games. This was like a big monumental achievement for adventure games, Legend of Zelda, Nintendo as a whole, and it just captivated everyone. Everyone was obsessed with it back in the day, I remember. My only problems really are that it brings in so many questions of like, man, so when they send you back in time, is Zelda just living in an apocalypsed world by herself? Because she sends you back to relive your childhood, but that version of her is not going to be able to relive her childhood, right? There are 2 different timelines, 3, from what I understand, if I'm correct or wrong. And I just think that's crazy that she just stays there to live out a shitty life. And it almost feels bad because you don't, like, sure, you live with all of the experiences you had as Link, but you yourself, in that version of it, none of it mattered. And I think that's why the idea of Majora's Mask is so interesting, and the type of person that Link became, and him doing like front flips and back flips when he's jumping. All of that time training and getting stronger really showed what he was capable of. And from what I understand, because he leaves in that one, Wind Waker happens and Ganon becomes an even bigger threat, and they have to Noah's Ark fucking Hyrule. Oh my god, it's just nuts. This whole Zelda series is just a crazy game, and I get why everyone loves this one. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be talking about all types of other games soon. I'm currently replaying through Xenoblade Chronicles again. Oh, such a great game. GTA 4 and Chrono Trigger, and I'll probably get to that Deltarune video eventually. But I'm so excited, just waiting for the next chapter, whenever the hell that decides to drop. I'm rambling. Just like, subscribe. Yeah, the whole thing. Oh man, this game's awesome. Ah!